as we have spawning down on the bottom left, representing, well, France. It is Stephano in the blue.
And his opponent over in the lower right-hand corner. We've got our red Terran. It is Spirit.
Representing that Chinese team, Kaitsa Gaming. You know, they lost out on a really, really big player when Innovation went to the military. And Spirit is a very good player, make no mistake. But those are some big shoes to fill. And I'm very curious to see how he's going to do in the World Team League overall, trying to kind of fill those shoes, so to speak. He's going to have a tough time.
Yeah, I mean, can anybody really fill Innovation shoes? That's a very specific set of shoes to fill. But I do feel like Spirit is going to bring something to that team in the World Team League. It's certainly going to be tough.
Yes, it will be, I think, extraordinarily difficult is what comes to mind for me.
Yeah, that's a fair way to put it. 10 years or so of being one of, if not the best Terran in the world it's a tall task. You know, I don't know if Spirit's quite at that level, as I think it literally is only Innovation that can claim that. But he certainly is very strong. We mentioned it earlier that he's often the late game practice partner of Cyril and other top players in Europe. He's got fantastic control and just has a really good sense of game state, I feel like, most of the time. He doesn't seem to get caught off guard too often.
Yeah, and he's very comfortable at like all stages of the game too. I would say he shares some. Oh, nice snipe on that Zergling. Great job by Spirit right there. I would say he shares actually a lot of similarities with Stephano in terms of like he can play a ton of. He plays pretty much anything. He's comfortable playing anything in the game. Comfortable going hard macro, hitting some timings. He will proxy racks you for sure. Now, you know, most players are going to do that these days as well. It's not like the era of Stephano where, you know, he reinvented the meta. But it's still kind of neat to see. And we are seeing that very fast third command center. What do you think of this?
Well, I think it makes a lot of sense. Like you said, Spirit, he's pretty comfortable at any stage of the game. But I think he's going to feel maybe like he has the most power on at least 3 bases. We occasionally see some 2 base pushes, but I feel like those don't have quite as much oomph behind them as maybe they once did. And Hellbat pushes, they have mixed results. Some commentators might even say they're really bad, and I don't know if I could disagree with them. But on this map, kind of interesting. I wonder where Spirit is going to expand, because there is that more forward expansion, which is where the Marines are right now, which you can push from that in a really strong way. And there's kind of an older style of going for 3 bases and just getting up to that like 8 racks, constantly pushing, which is absolutely not what we're going to see at all here. Because it is double starport battle cruiser.
Yo, let's go.
Oh my god.
You know, sometimes I just feel so good. I'm like, yeah, he can play any style. He'll go crazy. And then, boom, 2-port BC. Wow.
Oh my god.
Trying to
so
take
exciting.
a cheeky, easy win against Stephano. And Stephano, he's playing real greedy. He's going to be going double Evo Chamber fast upgrades. And that does not do very well against battle cruisers because Zerglings don't shoot up.
It turns out +1 melee, not really the upgrade you're looking for against BCs,
Yes.
generally speaking.
Okay.
It is missile attack, so
Yeah.
that'll help if he eventually gets like Hydras out. But there's no lair, so he's going to be on Queens and Spores to defend these battle cruisers. And that's a bit of a problem. Unless you get the Scout, you can really get 3 Spores per base. Even that against double BC it's very dicey, and I don't think Stephano's going to be expecting this at all.
No,
the
he will
BC
not.
meta has kind of mostly been gone for over a year at this point.
Yep.
And double BC was never a meta. This is like super taking advantage of the fact that Stephano's not going to be expecting it.
And kudos to Spirit behind it. He's going bio out of this. This is fun. This is kind of crazy. Now, is he going to go... You got to go for at least 4 BCs with this, right? Otherwise, there's no point in getting the double port BC. But at that point, you should get Yamato, too, and he's not doing that.
I mean, honestly, with 2 BCs, I think you should get Yamato. So I'm
Yeah,
really surprised
actually, I agree with that,
not.
too.
But it could just be the 2 surprise BCs. And then double medevac to follow it up. So he's going to hit with a stim timing after this.
Oh, wow. And Stephano may not have even, like, realized that the BC is teleported. They do make a sound, but that's not the kind of thing you're used to if you're not playing very much, and he loses 6 drones right out of the gate.
You hear that sound and you go, is that BCs? No, that can't be. And then they're already here. There was a spore down here, but it's trying desperately to move into position. The Queens are getting on top of one of these battle cruisers, but no, it just walks away. And as long as he hides that in the corner, already 14 drones going down.
Ooh, Stephano could have target fired the spore on top of that 1 low health BC. Doesn't do so, though, and both BCs going to make it away. 19 drones now, an Overlord going down. Oh, a little bit weird from Spirit here. Oh,
he didn't move his BCs far enough away.
Hey, he's getting counterattacked by some Lings on the other side of the map, not paying attention. And he actually just lost both BCs.
That is massive. That is a huge mistake. Yeah, it looks like he was fully distracted over here. The BCs just didn't quite move far enough to be out of that Queen range, which is, as we know, pretty much Tempest range. And the Marine follow-up was fortunately enough to defend those Lings, but I love the counterattack from Stephano. That is absolutely the right call. Like we said, the Lings are not going to do anything against the BCs, so sending them across the map is a great call, and it worked out well for Stephano, because otherwise those BCs get out of there, they get repaired, and they do damage constantly for the rest of the game. Now, suddenly, 19 drones and an Overlord doesn't really feel like that much for 2 battle cruisers. That's 800 minerals and 600 gas.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Plus the quicker starport. We do see the upgrades for Stephano are insanely far ahead. Is he just going to try and hit like a Roach Hydra time? Okay, he's going up into Hive. Well, we're going to see him head into Lurkers, and Lurkers are already good without an upgrade advantage. With an upgrade advantage, they're very, very good.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever seen that. That is kind of insane. And these Lurkers are going to be very quick. But Stephano needs to make sure he has enough to deal with this initial push. He's teching up, he's getting great upgrades, but Hydras are not going to be the strongest unit on their own here. I feel like he needs some Lings with this. And the gold base is under fire.
Yeah, he actually has no units right now. Like, at all. Like, he's got Hydra Ling, and the 1-1 has completed for Spirit. Is Spirit just going to run him over right here? Like, where is the army of Stephano? Well, there it is on the right side, getting absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, and this is kind of the problem. I think this was Spirit's plan with that quick stim, no Yamato. He was saying, oh, here, look at my BCs, be afraid of those. And then immediately into this very quick Marine tank timing. And it might be able to punish Stephano for attacking up too quickly. But the Lings are coming in now. Is there enough here for Stephano to clear this? Absolutely not.
Not even close, and he's even going to potentially lose this topside base. Oh, man. Spirit has lost 1 tank and 12 Marines for so much value. We do see the transfuse keeping that hatchery alive, so that's one thing for Stephano, but he's going to lose his gold base, which is the much juicier target.
In the main at the same time.
God. Well,
and there's just not enough army to deal with all of this. Hydra's popping out, dying to these Marines. Immediately, the drop gets cleaned up, but in the meantime, Spirit's moving up to that 5th base, and the Lurkers seemed like they were going to be so good. 2-2 Lurkers with Hive before 10 minutes, but there just hasn't been a chance. And suddenly, Stephano's knocked back to 3 bases. Spirit is taking a 4th and reinforcing with an army just as big as the one he's got on that side of the map.
Yeah, and it's a big army too. Like, he's going to have 5 tanks now with this. How many Marines? That is a ton of Marines. 3 pages nearly of Marines. Well, 2 full pages in a little bit. Like 50 Marines with this army. I mean, Stephano does have lurkers, but already actually some splash damage coming in on one of those lurkers due to the units overhead of it, over top of it. And Stephano going to start to move forward, or sorry, Spirit going to start to move forward. He's going to be threatening this 3rd base. God, what do you do right now as Stephano? Well, you don't want to lose that lurker, and it goes down immediately.
Yeah, and as good as lurkers are, there was what, 3 or 4 out initially, and there are just so many siege tanks here already. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think there's 1 lurker left. That is it. And 1 lurker is not that scary. The transfuses are good. They keep it alive for a while, but not forever. And I think Spirit's just going to be able to keep pushing, take the win here. I don't think there's really much Stephano can do about it.
He might clean up the army, but it's an at what cost scenario. Yeah, tanks do go down, but the Marines, they're actually going to be able to retreat. And now the Queens are kind of off creep, but there's not quite enough Marines. Spirit wisely disengages. He does have some units. Oh, very awkward rally coming in there. Losing a lot of units, and the creep spread of Stephano helping him out a lot. Stephano actually does have a supply lead, but that's going to be a for how long type of scenario. As Spirit, he's going to have such a better economy. And Stephano, yes, he's rebuilt another base, so he's back up to 3 bases. But that gold base for Spirit is going to kick in very soon. He is clearing out a ton of this creep.
Liberator range is done because of that early fusion core. So these Liberators in this center section are going to be so strong, especially. But pushing back these lurkers, we don't really see Liberators against this very often. But I think it's a great choice. As I say that, the Liberators both die.
He still gets a lot of units for it, though.
Yeah.
And the supplies are more even than I expected. And now we've got a lurker actually harassing on the top side. Hold the phone, Stephano. Hey, not so bad. You know, he was the greatest foreigner for a very long time, and there's a reason for that. Oh, nice cleanup, though. More Hydras.
Not enough Marines here. I think this is really nice for Stephano, getting some damage done when he desperately needs it. I mean, he's still long distance mining from that base that died. The 3rd base, this 4th base is barely mining. Stephano does not have a good economy. So he's just desperately trying to hold on with the Bling Hydra Lurker Queen force here. But he keeps getting pushed back further and further until he's not going to have anywhere left to run. So he's getting harassment damage done, but he needs to clear this. We've got Hydras from the north side through the slow zones, but I think it's going to be enough. Spirit is forced to pick up and get out of there, but he loses a medevac.
Yeah, botches the micro right there. Doesn't pull it away in time. That's very unfortunate, but Stephano cleared that up very well, but he did lose all lurkers before the engagement. Oh, no, don't do it, don't do it. Oh, God, they had families.
They didn't deserve that. And this is not that many Marines, so the base is going to be able to get up. Stephano is suddenly going to be back onto 5 hatcheries. I feel like a few more drones would be kind of nice. 55 is a very low drone count. Getting into that 3-3. Spirit has taken a 5th base as well. So Stephano needs more than just a decent amount of hatcheries. He has been taking much better trades, though. The resources lost has evened up quite a bit.
Oh, and now we're going to see a Ling run by, but they don't have any melee upgrades. So they are very sad trying to kill those Marines, despite having a lot more of them. Will still kind of disrupt Spirit a little bit, but doesn't get much actually done with it. And 11 SCVs did go down for Spirit to those Hydras. Creep getting cleared out. Unfortunately, he didn't get the 1 creep tumor here on the right side of before. And so it actually is spread all the way up to, I mean, this entirely useless spot where it'll never be relevant. But it's still there and provides vision.
That could be a good spot to catch drops that are flying over.
Yeah.
It's some vision. As we say, the Spirit's going to clear it up. Maybe that 1 creep tumor staying alive. Look at him go.
There's something I got to draw attention to in a moment that I just noticed. The SimCity of Spirit's base is a big problem. Oh, but he's going to take down that hatchery immediately. does want to get out of here. Stephano looking to cut him off with the Hydras, but there might actually just be too much bio.
Yeah, there's a lot of bio, and those tanks are getting some really good shots off. He needs one scan.
Yeah, that Liberator, and there we go. It wasn't even the Liberator. The tank killed it first. Look at these tanks.
Oh, no.
Look at these tanks.
He needs to lift up that barracks.
He does.
He needs to lift it up.
Oh, God, that's a lot of tanks.
Siege tanks.
That's
his whole second factory of production of siege tanks. He's probably like, I don't have any siege tanks out here. Where
it's
are
now
all
5
my
tanks. This is half of his tank count.
Oh, no.
This is half of his tanks. Oh, God. And it's not like the fact... Look at it. It's literally walled in perfectly.
Yep. That is actually incredible. I don't know how Spirit managed to do that. If he wins this game with 5 tanks and maybe even 6 tanks just chilling in his base, he's going to be so sad.
We'll see how long it takes him to notice. He is paying attention, of course, to this main fight. Lurker's in a really nice position on the high ground, going to push these units away. But Spirit is still... He still has strong control of this game. Now, he did forget his +3 armor, which is a big mistake. And Stephano just finished his own 3-3, so now Stephano has an upgrade advantage. Ooh, double abduct come in from the same Lurker. Does lose it to a snipe, but he gets a couple tanks. And will move forward, snipes off even a 3rd tank.
Scan going to see the high ground, so these Lurkers, a couple of them are going to go down, and then the snipes finish off that 3rd one. And there's only 1 Lurker left alive. Stephano taps out, and Spirit never realizes that he has 6 tanks in his main base.
I think it was up to 7 at the end there.
Was it 7?
I think there was a 7th tank. I have never seen that before. Spirit playing with hard mode on.
Really with hard mode on. That's pretty insane. But it turns out ghosts are good enough where you don't even really need tanks. You can just use the ghosts.
Yeah. It's pretty damn cool. Very, very cool. Oh, man. I gotta say, though, good stuff from Spirit, besides, of course, the tank snafu.
Yeah.
But Stephano also looked really good. Like,
I was
if
really
he hadn't taken
a
bunch of damage...
If he didn't lose, like, 3 hatcheries to that push, I feel like Stephano would have been in a much better position. That was... he lost... I think a lot of players would have just tapped out, honestly. The fact that he stayed in the game, he was like, okay, I've got Lurkers, I've got some Hydras, we've got Hive. I'll try to stick it out. But I think at that point it was pretty much a lost game, but he pulled it back way more than I expected him to. That actually gets me really excited for Stephano, and I hope that we're able to see a more even kind of late game scenario in this game going into it, because that was not even at all. It wasn't even close by the time we got to late game.
No, it was not. That was amazing. It sounds like he actually had the units selected too, which means they were probably in the control group. God, that's funny. That is kind of funny.
It's yeah, that's too funny. I can't believe that. That's I don't think I've ever seen that many units stuck in the base before. Like, every now and then you'll see like a tank get stuck between some buildings, or maybe a couple bio units, but to have that many tanks just chilling in the base, you know what, they were there for the inevitable Nidus into the main. Imagine you try to Nidus into the main and there's just 7 siege tanks. What do you do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're just sad. You're just real sad about it. It's just a real bad time.
All right, we got game 2 loading up now. Going into Lightshade.
That we are. Obviously, this is going to be the Zerg player's pick here. Lightshade much better, but there are some concerns for Zerg on this map. It's not the most straightforward map. Like, you got to be careful. You got to be a little bit careful. And with that, let's get right on into game. Spawning down in the bottom right position of Lightshade, it is the red Terran player. Give it up for Kites of Gaming Spirit.
And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner, our blue Zerg player from France, it is Stephano.
And yeah, he looked pretty cool. Looked pretty cool in that game. Skipped banelings, skipped roaches, played a very greedy style, did get punished for it. Kind of hard. But
A little bit. It was a very strange game. I really liked the build from Spirit. I would like to remind us that it was a 2 battlecruiser opening.
Yes.
Where both BCs died. So I feel like that game probably looks a little more over if those BCs live. Like imagine if Stephano loses 3 hatcheries and then the BCs hit in the main and kill 10 more drones.
Yep.
I feel like that game looks a little more over at that point. But a very crisp build from Spirit rather. The double BC into lots of Stim Marines with tanks. The follow-up push that I think really is meant to just punish the Zerg for not building a bunch of Banes, because why would you build a bunch of Banes against battlecruisers? But then you're not quite ready for the Marine follow-up.
Yeah, and like even with the death of the BCs, he still took a huge amount of damage. He lost 19 drones. He lost a queen. Should have lost a couple more overlords because those BCs are going to be able to free fire. But even with just the damage he did, like he was in such a good position, and it's so surprising that Stephano was able to even make a game of that, and it is a testament to his RTS pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He was like, I'm just going to go, we're going straight to the late game then. You want to open BCs, we're going straight to the late game. And it bit him in the butt a little bit, but it was for sure the reason he was able to hold on. You know, if you lose 3 hatcheries and you're on Ling Bane, it's not going to happen. There's no way you're going to have enough economy to take those trades. But on Hydra Lurker, that's pretty doable. That's a much more efficient army composition. And we kind of got to see that from Stephano. But Spirit, he knows how to handle the thing is, I think against a number of other Terran players, I think Stephano's able to actually take it there. But we've been talking up Spirit's late game. And so I think as soon as he saw the Lurkers, he was like, all right, double factory tank. He wasn't going to use half of those tanks, but he was planning on it, and straight into ghosts. And it's just so hard to fight for the Zerg. Once enough ghosts get out, I actually don't know how the Zerg wins those fights anymore.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I feel like I saw a game recently where just, like 12 to 15 ghosts were wandering around killing everything. Yeah, maybe.
Strange.
It's weird deja vu.
Yeah.
It is another fast third command center build. It is worth noting, by the way, in the previous game that Spirit did go for just pure Marine production and did not hot swap his factory onto the reactor. So he did kind of show that it was an unconventional build. Of course, it did not get scouted. Stephano had no idea that it was 2-port BC. But this time it's a lot more standard. What do you think of that? And will we see Cloak? It's got to be Cloak, right?
I feel like you usually see Cloak with this.
Yeah.
I'd be more surprised if it wasn't Cloak, honestly. We see one Banshee occasionally. But yeah, still no Cloak. Maybe not. It's extremely standard. I don't know if there's too much really to say here. Cloak or not Cloak, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. This is Hellion Banshee opener. Just going to try to maybe put a little bit of pressure on. The Banshee is mostly to be safe in case there's some sort of push coming across the map.
Yeah, it's and it is just going to be single Banshee. Wow, that's going to mean his push is going to hit so much earlier than normal. As the general follow-up, no Cloak, no second Banshee, and yeah, like you said, it's just a safety move, just a safety maneuver. I like it. He knows he's a good player. Stephano adding on a Roach Warren here. Ooh, we're going to see him go back to his roots once again, and it's going to be those missile upgrades most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this has been the popular style against Terran, right? Heavy upgrade Roaches. I feel like Rogue gave us a lot of Roaches and was making it look a little bit better than Ling Bane was for a while against Terran. We still see kind of a mix of both of them. But I think Stephano, he's always been the Roach guy, right? That's what he does.
He is most definitely OG Roach, and even Roach Hydra Man. There's a famous series versus Polt where he just goes Roach Hydra and he just kills Pold. And you're like, Stephano, you're not allowed to do that. And he's like, oh, okay. But I did, though.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, yep, no, I have no counter argument to that. You just won with it. Like, good on ya.
You're like, Roach Hydra's bad. And Stephano's like, what if I just make more Roach Hydra, though? And you're like, well, I guess if you have enough of it, it's pretty good. Turns out. Macro's a good strategy.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be Marine Tank against Roaches this game. This feels like a pretty solid standard opening. And I'm excited to see what Stephano can do in a more conventional game and where he wants to take it. His last game was all Spirit controlling what both players are doing. Ooh, that is a good catch on the Hellions.
That was
Maybe able to
fantastic.
take a few of those out.
Wow. Getting all but 2 of them. Oh, and he surrounds another. God damn, this is what we're looking for from Stephano here. That was some great control. I don't know if you noticed, but he split the lanes a couple of times just before Hellion shots were being fired. That was magnificent. And he was waiting at the top of the ramp, so it was like even more of a little trap. That was marvelously well done. And I think that even hides the fact that Spirit's going Roaches. Or sorry, that Stephano's going Roaches.
Yeah, I don't know if the Hellions... There was one Roach nearby, but I don't know if Spirit really noticed the Roach. He's got the Marines out here. Now he's going to see a bunch of Roaches. And Marines against Roaches is always a little interesting, but the Ravager is hitting, and the Spirit there's just zero defense here. This bunker is empty. Tanks on the high ground. SCV is going to die as they try to get up there. This attack from Stephano is catching Spirit completely off guard. Don't know if Stephano really wants to dive up to this high ground.
I mean, he Grozabiles down a couple tanks and just gets on out. He is so far ahead in this game. He's killed 20 SCVs. He's up workers. He's up 48 army supply. Stephano, Roachman 2.0, Roachman 3.0. Let's go.
This is, this is some classic Stephano moves right here. So let's go for a big Roach Hydra push. Are those queens walking across the map right now? Is he so concerned about this Banshee that he's like, let's go, I'm bringing the queens. The ladies are coming. And, you know, if I'm Spirit here, I'm thinking, well, I just need to get enough tanks out. I can retake this third pretty soon. He's got a lot of Marines. I don't think he's expecting non-stop Roach production behind this with the queens walking across the map. And, well, there's no bunkers here or anything. It's just going to be the Marines trying to split against these biles. The tanks probably shouldn't last very long, but underneath all these medevacs are a little tough to hit. So they do last a while. Raptors might need to back up, but the Marine count is so low.
Stephano's got this.
Yeah.
All the tanks go down, all the Marines go down. The natural is now breached. Roach Ravager, man.
Drones behind this. Like, this isn't some super crazy 40 drone all in. He's making 14 more. And the natural is just going to be gone. All the supply depots down there. Spirit's supply blocked. He's going to be supply blocked for a while. He's lost both his engineering base, so he's going to be stuck on 1-1. Meanwhile, 2-2's halfway done for Stephano. I don't really see a saving grace here for Spirit. He's not ahead in any regard at the moment. He is stuck on one base with 3 command centers, supply blocked, and down in upgrades.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse. There's a Hydra Den now done. We've got an Infestation Pit on the way. Hydra Speed starting up immediately. Stephano's creep spread is great. Holy crap.
I don't usually pay attention to how many creep tumors are in the production tab, but 15 is quite a number.
He spots the drop with this Zergling too on the top side. And Hydra is heading its way over. God, everything going in favor of Stephano right now.
Yeah.
This is a stunning upset, even taking a game right now.
Yeah, this is really impressive, and it's a little bit less surprising. Oh my God, he got that medevac. After game 1, where he fought so well off the back of such an abysmal opening, essentially, it's a lot less surprising. But in general, I would not expect Stephano to take a game here. Spirit is by far and away the favored player. All this creep is going to get cleared, and then the Roaches and Hydras are going to show up. And there's just way too much here. The army supply is triple that of Spirit. Massive concave. The Queens are even here just to help out.
And Stephano strikes back in game number 2. Upgrade lead, supply lead, roach lead. He had so many more roaches per roach than his opponent, you know? Just
That's right.
absolutely amazing play. Stephano, where did you come from here? Let's go.
Dude, he crushed it, man. Ah, that's so exciting. We've been talking up Spirit this whole time. I think we both, kind of expected the 2-0. Game 1 looked very strong, even though the 2 BC openers, a little bit of kind of style point. So it felt like Spirit may be styling on Stephano a little bit. But it turns out, no, he needs to have something cheeky like that. Otherwise, Stephano's just going to make the roach, I believe is the phrase. For what
as we all expected, Stephano, the heavy favorite here in this match. Right. Damn, I am so impressed by Stephano here. And now we're going to be heading into Romanticide, which is a little bit of a less aggressive situation.
It's a lot easier to hold 3 bases here as the Terran. So we kind of saw that initial Roach Ravager push, pressured the 3rd base, and, Spirit just wasn't able to hold on to it there. But on this map, it's a lot harder to get that done. And Spirit on 3 solid bases is terrifying. And I think Stephano knows that. So he was like, I'll kill your 3rd base. We're just going to, it's gone. SCV's gone. Command center in your main. He was able to get that early damage done. On this map, I think that's going to be a lot harder. I feel like I see this map go to late game almost every single TVZ. So I think this is going to be a lot harder for Stephano to pull off anything of that nature.
Yeah,
but I hope we get to see something cheeky from him. Something a little bit innovative.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tougher, but at the same time, he showed comfort, I would say, with the Hydra play, with those lurkers. He got a couple of good abducts in game 1. Like, I think he is more than happy to play a late game scenario versus Spirit. And I gotta say, this series has already lasted longer than I expected, and is better for Stephano than I expected. Like, yeah, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
No, I'm looking forward to game 3. I hope you're right. I hope that he is feeling confident in the late game scenario. Again, game 1 I feel like is a bad representation of what a late game should look like, just because he took so much damage early on and was fighting from a huge deficit once he got those lurkers out. So I hope we get to see a more even game, maybe just some drops and a standard roach into Hydra into lurker kind of compositions.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down with that. Romanticide, not the kind of map where you're going to want to go for that 3-base roach push, though. Like, you are not going to want to try and kill your opponent with 1-1 roach. It is way too easy to hold those bases as the Zerg, or as the Terran player against that. But at the same time,
Dark would probably go for it. But that's about it.
He would. Dark is such a funny player, because if he feels like he's better than his opponent,
he'll just kill them.
He'll kill them with stupid stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, he'll just be like, yeah, I don't know, let me make just 45 lings off of 36 drones, and you're like, no, Dark, no, we don't do this. And he's like,
that's bad. That's not a build.
Yeah, but he GG'd though.
Yeah.
He left. No, Dark, no, you can't keep doing that. And he's like, well, I can, because I'm better than him. And you're like, damn it, you're right.
Then you get the Artosis Twitch chat. But it worked. It worked, Artosis. So it must be better. It must be a good build.
Oh, literally. Yep. And we are unexpectedly getting into game 3 here. I'm excited about this.
As am I.
And here we go, spawning down in the bottom right position of Romanticide, looking to recover from that surprising situation. It is Kaitsu Gaming's Spirit in the red.
his opponent in the upper left-hand corner. The blue Zerg taking the game there, getting us to game 3, and I feel like he might be able to do it. It is Stephano.
Stephano. Yeah, this feels like the kind of situation that worked out a lot better for Stephano than I think any of us could have expected. Either of us could have expected. And this creates a bit of an uncomfortable situation for him, for Spirit that is, potentially in this whole group. If he drops the series to Stephano, he probably can kiss his chances of a top 2 goodbye. Like, that's...
Yeah.
And he was looking at this group, you would definitely want to come top 2. And in fact, you know what? I am going to go ahead and say that if he drops the series here, this could even put his chances of making the playoffs in jeopardy. Because he'll have to play 2 TVTs still against Marine Lord, who is one of the better, if not best, TVT players in Europe. And then Clem, who is one of the best players overall in Europe.
I mean, it's certainly not... He certainly has a lot of very difficult matches left for him. And, you know, he's got Hellraiser coming up as well. That's not an easy match. And I really think this feels like all of a sudden a must-win for Spirit. Otherwise,
yes,
he's absolutely in danger.
Yeah. The thing is, even if he loses this, still very good chance of making the playoffs because he can beat Marine Lord. He has beaten Clem.
Yeah.
And even if he loses both those 2 matches, he still can go 4-3. But it, like you said, it creates a really uncomfortable situation, and it's not the situation you want to be in this group. That is for sure. In any group, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if Spirit's looking at this, he's probably feeling like we should be able to win against Stephano. Probably a 2-0, but you never want to be 1-1 against somebody like Stephano, who clearly can take big W's. Oh my god, he gets the creep tumor though? Never mind. Spirit wins the game.
Yep, it's all ogre.
Yeah, sorry. Game's over, guys.
Oh, Queen. That's the worst feeling when the Reaper is just standing there and you're like, oh, okay. I'm going to be able to kill it, or at least interrupt its healing. And then it's just like, ha, just kidding. I had it on a hold position. It just walks away. We are going to be seeing a little switch up here from Spirit. Fast third command center into second barracks. Going to see a 2-on-1 follow-up.
Okay. I like that. Get those Marines out on the map a little earlier. The Hellions got just absolutely demolished last game, so it's like, let's get into those Marines a little quicker.
It's so crazy to me how many good moves Stephano makes with no practice. Because he'll come back for these seasons, and he'll be like, yeah, I played, 25 ladder games. And you're like, oh, like, per day for the last couple weeks? And he's like, no. Like, this season. And you're like, no, you didn't. You're lying. And he's like, well, I mean, sure, you believe what you want, but I don't know what some of the units do.
Yeah.
And then he still makes moves like I'm glad you brought up that Hellion catch again, because like that was so clean from Stephano. Like it was exquisitely executed.
Well, and so important too, right? We talked about how Spirit didn't really get a glimpse of roaches, but if those Hellions get in there, they're absolutely going to see a bunch of roaches coming out, not to mention any drones they might kill. And all of a sudden, Spirit's back at home with his Marines. He's in the bunker. He's got siege tanks in position. He's ready to defend the Roach Ravager push. He was out on the map with the majority of his army because those Hellions died and he was trying to clear creep with the Marines. And that was the beginning of the end for Spirit in that game. And I think a lot of it really does come down to the Hellions just getting crushed by the Ling Queen and not really getting any vision of anything.
And it was enough Zerglings that, like, you can just put roaches out of your mind. You're just like, oh, yeah, no, he's just going Ling Bang. Like, you just take it for granted, you know? We are seeing another Hellion being added. Is he going to go Hellbat with this? Like, is he going to throw down an armory? He's getting an additional... Okay, no, shouldn't be. He's getting the engineering bay. Nidus Worm. Oh.
You know, we're talking about Arc. I think we invoked this. Just the 3 base roaches Stephano says, I can't break up that ramp. If only there was some way for me to just get straight into the base. And that seems to be the plan. Now, Spirit has full vision of his main. He's got that supply depot over there. I don't think he has anywhere he can't see in his main base that the Nidus could try to sneakily get into. But the main is very large on this map. So we might see him be a little too far away with his army where he can't actually stop it from coming up. But let's see, it's already started. Oh my god, there's Lynx taking in at the same time. Spirit, he's not responding to the Nidus at all.
He's dead. I think that this is... The medevacs are on the map. The Hellions are coming back home. Oh my god. Is this happening?
Stephano, he's pulling out the roach build. He's like, everybody knows me for roaches. All right, it's time for roaches.
This is
yeah,
so brutal for Spirit.
I mean, Spirit's gonna fight it out. He's still got a bunch of Marines. He's got a siege tank in the main, but there's a Nidus at the third now. He's dropping mules in his main.
Oh god. There's no roach speed here. No upgrades, no Ravagers even. He doesn't have the gas for Ravagers. We are going to see a couple of roaches kind of split off here. He wants to bait this army out. Meanwhile, he will force the lift on the third command center. Would love a Nidus. Oh, he's going to drop it? Nidus into the natural?
Yeah. Do it. Do it. Oh, I hope so. Yeah. I mean, I think... Oh. Okay, Nidus gets cleaned up in the main.
Oh god,
but
that plus one.
Oh
no.
There's
it's so far along.
And +1. Oh.
Repair, mass repair. Corrosive Bile is going to take down the SCVs, but he will keep it alive. And that is such a crucial thing. Stephano really tunnel visioning in that. Meanwhile, other side of the map, Hellions getting 8 drones. Hold the phone, Spirit, with the moves.
All right, Spirit recognizes that this was on a very low drone count with not a lot of upgrades. Like I said, roach speed only just now started. Stephano, he didn't get 1-1 this time. His caravan just began. And Spirit actually getting that +1 attack finished is super important because all of a sudden he's got an upgrade lead. He's got some units that he's going to be able to retake his third base and start mining from 3 bases again. Ooh, another Nidus in the main. I like this move a lot. Even if it's just a few roaches popping out, it's going to distract Spirit.
And he's got 30 supply on the map. Yeah. And roach speed is going to be done this time. There's actually nothing in the main. He does have 5 tanks, and they will be coming back in here. Yeah, this isn't going to get too much done. Spirit, I think he... I think Stephano tunnel vision too hard.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, it's easy to say, well, if he had macroed more behind it, maybe it would have been okay. He got a lot of damage done. But did he get a lot of damage done? The worker count's pretty low for both players at the moment. These drops are doing really nice. Good target fire onto the Ravagers. Not enough roaches down here to fight all these Marines just yet. And 17 drones have gone down. Stephano down to 40 workers, and he's just making more roaches. Going for Burrow, tunneling claws. He does have 1-1 on the way, so he will be able to take an upgrade lead in a little bit. But I'm liking this game a lot more for Spirit now. Now that he's got his 3 bases back up, he's got some patrol units to stop that Nidus from re-entering his main base.
Is that an additional Reaper? Is that a misclick Reaper? Is that... No, that's the first Reaper. Wow. Look at that. Ooh, and he even finds a couple of roaches.
At 10 minutes into the game. You just never see that. It's beautiful.
You don't. You never do. 1-1 will complete for Stephano, and that's actually going to give him now the upgrade lead. But he is in a really rough spot. He is in a really rough spot. 4th command center is actually finished for Spirit, and he's landing that.
Yeah. He's going for that 4th base. Nidus not happening in range of that siege tank. And Niduses aren't free. We don't usually talk about how much they cost. But that was the 4th Nidus.
Yep.
And Stephano's on 51 workers. You know, that's... I'm not going to try to do the math and figure out how many roaches or Ravagers he could have. But it's a non-zero amount of units that could be out on the field that are now not here. And that's going to be impactful as we keep moving forward. And these drops just getting more and more damage.
he finds 7 drones right there. That's pretty darn good. And Liberator at the third base going to pick off 5 more drones as well. 11 drones in total going down. This is really well done out of Spirit. And Stephano, God, he is... I don't know what he can possibly do to come back right here. If he hadn't lost those drones, maybe he can turtle the game out, really drag it out, and be in not too bad of a situation. But Spirit's going to hit him with an attack pretty soon. That is going to be, well, pretty much impossible to stop. Burrow move Roach is getting immediately denied. There's missile turrets here. He's building another one at the third base to prevent any Burrow run-bys. And he's getting... Well, he's not getting any more damage, but he's continuing to be a nuisance with this.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, the Marines have kind of done what they needed to do. If they get cleaned up, that's okay. If he's able to keep them alive in the corner, that's great. It just buys him a little more focus on that side of the map. These 2 Roaches kill an SCV. Are they going to force a cancel on this turret? Is Spirit just going to lose the turret? Missile? Oh, no. Oh, my God. 75 minerals wasted. So at least the Burrow Roaches do something.
100 minerals. 100 minerals wasted even. Missile turret's expensive, yo.
It's true.
They pricey. And the... Oh, I guess, yeah, he canceled it. Yeah, so what am I saying? No, he would have lost the 25 anyways. Yeah.
Well, you lost the SCV, though, so...
Oh, true. So 125.
125 minerals.
And theoretically, if that SCV mined out all of Romanticide, tens of thousands of minerals.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Theoretically, that SCV is priceless. Oh, look at the Reaper leading the charge. He's gonna get another creep tumor. What a guy.
Oh, it got kill stealed there. Oh, that's just a shame. And here comes in just... Oh my God, the Marines just gunned down the hatchery. Look at that DPS with that +2 weapons. Absolutely shredding. And he's even gonna pick the fight against the Ravagers. Not enough to tank. Ooh, that corrosive bile does hit home though. I think he killed like 5 or 6 Marines with that bile.
That was a pretty good bile.
That was probably one of the best biles I've ever seen, actually, in terms of like versus bio. I never see biles actually hit in competitive matches. That was kind of exciting for me. I wish it impacted the game.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to. We already have ghosts out. I mean, Stephano, he's still just on 64 workers. He just lost his third base. Spirit's been mining more than him for quite a while now. The last 5 minutes or so. Spirit's had a better economy. Roach's Raptor is going to try to hit this base. There's a bunker, tanks, and reinforcements, though. So I don't think it's going to get too much done. Oh, the 5th base might get denied, though. Temporarily.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, oh man, this is a nice move. This would be so great if the game was even. You know?
Yeah.
Like if this was even remotely close. Oh, that's cute. Stephano recognizes where the tank is, and he's like, oh, I'll drop the Nidus Worm beside the tank. There's only 3 Roaches in here, though, and even if they get out, which they won't, they could have gotten scanned. And look at that, he even scans, thinking, oh, you're going to burrow some Roaches out of here. Oh, and now that drop from earlier, it's going to be a dead 5th.
Nice. 5th base, 4th base. Stephano doesn't have much. He's going to try to take this fight, but with the Planetary and 4 siege tanks, he loses so much to do it. And he just can't afford to take trades like that. He needs to take super efficient trades in order to come back in this game, and that was just not it. He's losing drones in the meantime. He's going to lose another hatchery. Stephano down to 2 hatches. And he was maybe hoping Spirit was going to make some mistakes and he could take advantage of that. It just hasn't happened. And now I think Spirit has an insurmountable advantage in this game. 2 hatcheries, literally just Roach tech. That's it. He doesn't have another tech building. There's no
18 ghosts.
Pit, there's no hive.
18 ghosts on the map. The ghosts alone could potentially win this game.
You're not even...
Oh, God.
Oh,